Hello and welcome to another Koo Lab. My name is Koo and this is our laboratory for learning. Now today we're going to do something a little bit different. Today we're going to do some work with new vocabulary in a specific area. I often tell some of my students, when you're finding something to study, especially in a new language, find something that you enjoy. A lot of us don't like to read textbooks. We don't want to, do the vocabulary words from a book or from something a teacher tells us. If you find some content that you actually enjoy, you're going to engage with it. So oftentimes I tell some of my students who love sports, go watch some highlights of a sport that you like in your target language. If you like football or soccer or American football or basketball, go find some highlights, go find some content in that target language because you already enjoy that type of content. So that's what we're going to do today. Today we're going to take a look at NBA basketball. If you enjoy it, then now's the time to learn some of those phrases you might hear if you watch an English broadcast of an NBA game, or if you read an article about your favorite player, some of the words that might come up. I'm here to help you learn a little bit of those vocabulary words so that you can engage with content that you really like. So let's go ahead and get started with our next Koo Lab. Our first vocabulary word is playoffs. Now, currently, when I record this, we're watching the NBA playoffs. Playoffs is a noun, and it just describes the postseason tournament. Every year, teams compete in the regular season, and if they're good enough, if they win enough games, they qualify for the playoffs. And in the playoffs, you play another team 7 times, and whoever wins 4 games moves on to the next series. You keep winning until you're the final team standing, and then you have won the playoffs. Let's look at an example sentence using playoffs. The Lakers made it to the playoffs again this year. Very good. This means the team, the Lakers, made it to the playoffs again. So they're going to be competing for that championship. Okay, vocabulary word number 2, seed. Seed is a noun. Seed is team's ranking entering the playoffs. Remember, we played that regular season, and based on how well you did, you get a seed. If you didn't win as many games, maybe you're the 8th seed. So the seed is your rankings going into the playoffs. Another example sentence using seed is, they're the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. So this team won the most games during the regular season. Another vocabulary word you might see is the word bracket. Now, bracket is a noun, and a bracket is the playoff matchups visual chart. So this is a picture of all of the seeds. Which seed plays which seed? It creates an image, and that image is called a bracket. A lot of people look at their brackets to see which team will be playing the other team. Another sentence using bracket is, I filled out my playoff bracket before the game started. Okay, here's a fun vocabulary word you might hear often or you might see in an article. This one's called home court advantage. Home court advantage. Now, home court advantage is a word that means this particular team is playing more games at home. So in a series, we said there are 7 games. So 4 of them will be played at one team's home court. 3 of them will be played at the other team's home court. So usually the team that has the higher seed also has home court advantage. Usually teams do a little bit better when they play at home in front of their crowds. The crowds cheer for them, they yell for them, and so they play better. It's very good to have home court advantage. All right, let's look at our example sentence. They have home court advantage in the series. Okay, another phrase is game winner. So game winner describes a shot that wins the game. Sometimes both teams have very close scores. Maybe the score is tied and only a few seconds left. Someone takes a shot, the shot goes in, they win the game. That certain shot is called a game winner. So look at our sentence right here. He hit a game winner at the buzzer. Okay, another vocabulary word is the word clutch. Now, clutch is an adjective to describe a basketball player. And as we can see from our definition, it means performing well under pressure. So if a basketball player does very well when there's lots of pressure, many times at the end of the game, we might refer to this player as clutch. He always performs when there's the most pressure. Our example sentence might be, that was a clutch three-pointer. That means he scored 3 points, maybe at the very end of the game, maybe even as a game winner. Very clutch. All right, another vocabulary word you might see is the word upset. In the NBA, the word upset is a word that means a surprise win by the underdog, the team who was the lower seed. Maybe they weren't expected to win, and they win anyway. In this case, it would be an upset. The team we expected to win did not win. So let's look at that example sentence. That was a major upset in the first round. It means the team we did not expect to win ended up winning the series. Okay, our next vocabulary word describes statistics as they are related to players. So when a player scores points, or gets a rebound, or passes to another player, we count those statistics. So our vocabulary word is double-double or triple-double. You'll hear this quite a lot with very famous players. And a double-double or triple-double is a stats milestone. It means they got double digits in different categories. For example, if they score 10 points, double digits. If they have 10 rebounds, double digits. And if they have 10 assists, that's 3 categories with double-digit counting stats. So we would say that's a triple-double. 3 categories, all of them have double digits stats. Now, double-double is the same thing, but only 2 categories. So you will see a sentence like our example sentence. He had a triple-double in Game 5. Triple-double means he played very well and scored double digits in 3 separate statistical categories. Another word that you will hear quite often is the word shot clock. So shot clock is a noun that describes the 24-second timer for each possession. Every time a team gets the ball, they have 24 seconds to shoot the ball and make a basket. If they can do that, then the other team gets the ball and they get 24 seconds. So this 24 seconds is always counting down every time you have the basketball. And that's called the shot clock. Let's look at our example sentence. He barely got the shot off before the shot clock expired. You'll see this quite a bit in NBA coverage, especially if you're watching something. Someone might say, oh, there's 8 seconds left on the shot clock. He will take this down till 2 seconds left on the shot clock. It's a very common phrase used in NBA coverage. Another phrase that you will definitely hear if you watch NBA coverage is the phrase in the paint. In the paint is a phrase that describes the area near the basket. So right underneath the basket is an area where the big, tall players live, and we call that the paint. Today, it's still painted a little different color than the rest of the court, and that area has some special rules. But usually, if you can get the ball in the paint, you have a very good chance of scoring. So let's look at our example sentence. He dominated in the paint with powerful dunks. So that means this particular player was very good when he was playing in the paint. Another word that describes the basketball court maybe is the opposite of in the paint. This is a place called the perimeter. So perimeter is a noun that describes the area near the three-point line. So if in the paint is near the basket, the perimeter is far away. If you stand behind the perimeter and shoot, it counts for 3 points. So all of the 3-point shots are at the perimeter. Let's look at an example sentence. They have strong shooters on the perimeter. That means this particular team has a lot of shooters who can score from 3 points, score from the perimeter. Steph Curry is one of the best perimeter shooters of all time. You might see the word perimeter defense. That means you can guard someone at the perimeter. Another word that describes some basketball plays is the phrase fast break. Fast break is a phrase that describes a quick counterattack after a defensive stop. So sometimes you shoot and you miss the basket and the other team goes very fast the other way. So maybe they pass it across the entire court. This is called a fast break. Some teams are very good at this type of offense, this type of scoring, and so you have to be very careful if you're the other team. You might see a phrase like our example sentence. They scored 10 fast break points in the first quarter. That means during the first quarter of the basketball game, they scored 10 of their points off of this type of offensive play. All right, another word that you're going to hear quite a lot if you watch basketball coverage, and that's the phrase "and one." And one is a phrase when a player scores and they're fouled. They get a free throw in addition to the points scored. So sometimes if they're going to score a point and they go up and shoot it and they get fouled and then the basket goes in, they get to shoot an extra shot because they were fouled. That's called an "and one." So let's look at our example sentence. He got the layup and won. So you'll see this quite often, many times a game. All right, thanks so much for joining me in this special Coolab. Today we took a look at some NBA vocabulary words for those of you who are searching for English vocabulary around subjects that you enjoy. And those who want to get away from the textbooks and maybe focus on content in your target language that you also enjoy. So I hope you found this helpful. Hope you found it useful. If you did, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Maybe check out one of these other videos over here to see if there's articles or other vocabulary that you also might enjoy. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next Coolab.